Okay, today we're going to be looking at this system of equations for linear algebra, and we're going to be determining if the system has a non-trivial solution. So I'm just starting here by writing out the augmented matrix of this system, which essentially you just take the coefficients of each variable, and then you write them in matrix form here, and you have to include all those zeros. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to factor out a common factor from these rows just to make them a little more simple. I'm going to do 2 for the first one, negative 2 for the second one, just to get rid of the negative, and then 4. It says as few operations as possible. This is just going to clean things up a lot, so for me, I think it's necessary. Okay, so here I'm getting 4, negative 6, 13. I'm going to have 4, 2, and 7, the 0, and then 4, 2, and 7 with the 0. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this first row by negative 1, and I'm going to write off to the side what that would equal. That would be negative 4, 6, 13, 0. Then I'm going to rewrite the matrix with the same first row, just normal, the first row. Then I'm going to take this new row that we made and add it to the second row, which would be 0, 8, and oh, it looks like I forgot that negative up with the 13, so I'm going to put that back there. Okay, and then that would be negative 6 and 0. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the third row. I'm going to add that new row that I created to the third row. Looks like I get the same thing, okay? So now we have a pivot in the first column. So I'm going to multiply the second row by negative 1, and that is going to equal 0, negative 8, 6, and 0. And then I'm going to write the first two rows of the matrix normally, just what I have in the matrix before. Then for the third row, I'm going to add this new row that I made to the third row that I had, and I'm just going to get all zeros. So then here it's an echelon form, and I have pivots in the first two columns, 4 and 8, but in this third column, I don't have a pivot. So I know from the problem that the variables for the columns are x1, x2, and x3. Oops. Here we go, x3. So I know since x3's column doesn't have a pivot, that x3 is free in the solution. So knowing this, I can determine that the system does have a non-trivial solution because one or more of the variables are free. So yes, the system does have a non-trivial solution.